How to build 3 treasures in life. So these 3 elements, with you standing in the middle and connecting to them, whoever can successfully connect with these 3 objects has found the 3 treasures of life. This is the most ideal living environment. Anyone who understands this, take it home. In your family, are your parents truly parents? Do they really have morality and wisdom in dealing with their children? Does your family have a good bookshelf for your children to read? Or is it just iPhones and iPads all day? And in your family, among siblings and neighbors, the friends your child plays with when they run out to the street, are those friend groups good or bad? If they end up in a neighborhood with heroin, sooner or later your child will become addicted too, right? Good friend groups are how you bring the 3 treasures home. Now, how do you bring these 3 treasures into a business? In a business, the person at the top must set the best example, right? The board of directors, CEO, chairman of the board, they're all decisive. They represent the image of a teacher. If the boss isn't truly a boss, the employees won't be true employees. It's that simple. When you enter a business, observe the management team, the executive team. Especially watch the founder, the soul of the entire business. Observe them carefully to see if they have both morality and wisdom. Next, look at the bookshelf, meaning what kind of knowledge the business regularly trains its people in. A bookshelf is essentially just knowledge. What knowledge are they being shaped with weekly? Is it refined knowledge? Or is it all about scheming and tricks to deceive each other? That's how you can measure a business. And when you enter that business, observe how teammates treat each other. How do colleagues interact? How do different departments interact with each other? You only need to observe for 1 to 2 weeks to draw conclusions about the business. No need to drag it out. You don't need 2 months of probation. Then you can decide whether to stay or go. Take this framework into business and use it to evaluate companies. In schools, apply this same framework. When choosing the school for your child, as soon as you step through the school gates, first look at whether the homeroom teacher or other teachers are worthy of being educators. Do they have morality and wisdom? Finding teachers with wisdom nowadays is quite difficult, but finding those with good morality is possible. We must be understanding because education universities accept students with just 3.5 points to pass, so don't expect perfect teachers. But relatively speaking, you can find teachers with good morality and average wisdom. Don't demand that they be exceptionally talented. With 3.5 entry points and a 5 million VND salary, how can we find talented teachers? We must be understanding about this. The entry requirements are too low. So we look at whether teachers are worthy of being teachers. And among these teachers, we must observe the principal or school owner. The school owner is even more important than the principal because they decide who to hire as principal. We observe this. After observing these aspects, we watch how student friends in the school interact and behave with each other. And do we see them gradually improving after a month or 2? That's good enough. Even a small improvement is fine. Note this. Don't compare with other schools. Just look to see if they improve a bit after entering. Improve a bit more. If their friend groups treat each other better over time. And finally, what? The bookshelf. The bookshelf in schools consists of 2 elements. First is the library, and second is the curriculum. The library and curriculum determine a good bookshelf. But curriculum is something mandatory to study, meaning being forced to learn, while the library is for voluntary learning, meaning getting to learn. The library is even more important than the curriculum. This means, does that library have many good books? And do the children voluntarily read them? Is there a reading culture in that school? In the corridors, among those 10 classrooms, are there many libraries at the corridor's end where children can run out and grab books to read? Is it an open or closed library? A closed library kicks everyone out at 5 p.m., forbidding reading. An open library means the librarian stays as long as students are there, always ready to welcome children. When you observe these things, you'll know if the school is worthy. If you see these 3 treasures present, even a village school is good enough for your child. Don't hesitate. Conversely, if an international school doesn't meet these standards, don't hesitate to move your child elsewhere. So that's my basic description of these living environments, how we connect, how we communicate. This is food for the mind. Notice I haven't mentioned the refrigerator, right? Here we have a bookshelf, and then there's the refrigerator. The refrigerator is just food for the mouth. At home, look at your bookshelf and refrigerator. Which is bigger and which is used more frequently? If the refrigerator is used more frequently, we're carrying too much for the body. When you send your child to a school and you don't check the library, don't check if teachers are worthy of being teachers. Don't check if friend groups are good, but instead ask about meal portions. You're focusing on the refrigerator. That reflex isn't good. That reflex isn't good at all. Now let's look back at the 3 treasures. What happens if we lack these 3 treasures? From the video we watched, if we lack healthy connections, addiction occurs, meaning bad habits develop, right? Now looking at these 3 elements, if we lose some elements, meaning our connections start to become misaligned, then a series of unhealthy behaviors and bad habits begin to emerge. Let's look at a family example. I'll use the example of a very famous coffee tycoon couple who are arguing online, appearing in many news outlets. In your opinion, the husband goes to study with a teacher, spending 49 days learning in the forest, meaning he seeks out teachers and learning, even inviting teachers to properly teach him. Does the wife support this or oppose it? So are husband and wife misaligned about wise teachers? They're misaligned. The books he reads, for example, one that he's passionate about is Startup Nation. Does she like that? Or does she just think making money for the business is good enough? It's unnecessary to think about the nation anymore. Are they misaligned about books? Completely misaligned. And the friend group he associates with, the ones he resonates with, does she socialize with them? Or does she say they're all crazy friends? So is this couple misaligned in all 3 treasures? They've lost all 3 elements. They're completely misaligned. So if they're completely misaligned, I challenge you to try mending it. It can never be mended. So when the court tries to reconcile them, I say it's impossible. And if they're misaligned in the 3 treasures, do you think it happened because of 149-day meditations? Or did it start 5 years ago when they began diverging in the 3 treasures without realizing it? 5 or even 15 years ago, the 3 treasures started to diverge. The books he reads, she doesn't read. The classes he likes to attend, she doesn't follow. And the good friends he associates with, she looks down on as unrealistic dreamers. You know, big dreams sometimes seem very unrealistic, right? But among thousands who dream unrealistically, a few will succeed. If you don't dream at all, you'll never achieve anything. So we see that when the 3 treasures are misaligned, divorce and separation appear. Misalignment in the 3 treasures is fatal, note that. Do divorcing couples share the 3 treasures? The 3 treasures are food that nourishes the mind. Then we look at troubled children. Does the family have the 3 treasures? You enter a wealthy mansion, really wealthy, built for tens of billions, with 2 or 3 cars, but step inside and see no bookshelf, just a huge liquor cabinet in the living room. Parents work from morning till night, 2 housekeepers at home, and 2 children who come home to throw money. Whatever they need, they call tutors to teach at home. No need to go to centers, everything is hired. So are the parents worthy of being their children's teachers? In that living environment, there's no good bookshelf, only TV, iPhones, and iPads. Lessons that should be self-studied are replaced by tutors, coming to teach, meaning essentially the tutors are doing the work for them. So they don't self-study, losing the bookshelf element. And do you think these wealthy kids with parents who spoil them like this can choose good friends, or do they choose snobby ones? Do they play with good friends or with other spoiled kids like themselves? Spoiled ones like themselves. So they've lost wise teachers, good books, and good friend groups. It would be miraculous if such a family could raise their children well. Having hundreds of billions in hand won't help raise children well, because when they've lost the three treasures, the children will definitely go astray. You go to schools where students misbehave, to any school where students fight, curse, bully each other, show school violence, or even hit teachers. I guarantee that in such schools, the teachers aren't worthy of being their teachers. That's why they get hit. If teachers were worthy, students would never dare hit them. One word would be enough for students to listen. Even the most troublesome ones would listen. Actually, these problematic students, once they listen to you, become the most active in whatever task you're implementing. They'll do anything you ask. So when students go astray, look at whether the school has the three treasures. You know, a few months ago, there was a homeroom teacher who made a student do 80 squats. Afterward, the student went home, felt dizzy, and went to the hospital for a checkup. The family sued, and the teacher was fired by the principal. Looking at this, I say the principal isn't worthy of being a principal, unable to protect their teacher. 80 squats, meaning standing up and sitting down 80 times, is like climbing 80 stairs. It's nothing. 80 stairs is just 4 floors, with 20 steps per floor. If a student faints after climbing 4 floors, that's the student's fault. The family didn't train them, didn't build their strength, leaving them so weak and fragile. It has nothing to do with the teacher. The teacher was just an additional circumstance. The root cause is that the student is too weak. But the principal, fearing public opinion, found a way to fire the teacher. I guarantee that after doing this once, all teachers in that school will stop intervening with students. They'll ignore misbehavior, saying it's the family's problem, and only teach the curriculum. That school has lost all three treasures. Teachers no longer dare to be true teachers. Don't dare teach valuable knowledge, only sticking to the curriculum. They don't dare bring in real-life lessons, fearing the principal will fire them. And they don't dare discipline misbehaving students. The entire school has lost everything. Because of one student, thousands are affected. What's the root cause? The parents at that school are also problematic. If I were a parent at that school, I would confront that parent and deal with them. Teachers may find it hard to correct parents, but parents can handle other parents. Parents, don't you agree? The whole class should meet to analyze the issue clearly. Call that parent in to talk. If you don't like this environment, move your child to another environment, but don't let it affect this school. We agree with the teacher's punishment. If children misbehave, they should be punished. When your children misbehave at home, do you punish them or just spoil them? Of course we punish them, so why shouldn't teachers? They manage 40 children. So when students go astray, look back at whether the school has the three treasures. The school lacks this, the principal doesn't understand this. The principal can't be good at their job, friends. In businesses where teams are in discord and conflict, does the business have the three treasures? In a business with team discord, for example, if you work in a department with conflicts, is the department head worthy of being a leader? Are those weekly and monthly training sessions, reading good books together? Do they create harmony when everyone learns together? When we learn together, our thinking becomes unified. And finally, do colleagues treat each other in ways worthy of being called good friends? Looking at these factors, we can immediately tell where this team is headed. Organizations lacking the three treasures will have internal discord. This is crucial. If you cannot build your own three treasures, can you truly develop? Ask yourself this question. If your life lacks the three treasures, can you really grow? Even someone as accomplished as the Buddha still sought teachers to learn from, right? In his youth, many of the finest teachers came to instruct him. Each teacher would exhaust their knowledge after just 1 to 3 months. His father, the king, sought out India's greatest minds. Then at age 29, when he left to become a monk, he sought out the two greatest teachers of that time to learn from them. When these two teachers couldn't satisfy his quest for knowledge, he went into the forest to practice on his own. So before becoming his own master, he had already learned from all of India's wise teachers. If someone as intelligent as the Buddha still sought out the three treasures for himself, then for you to say you don't need the three treasures, beware of such arrogance. If you say you don't need the three treasures and can still excel, you might as well check yourself into a mental hospital. The group in the mental health facility resonates deeply with you all. What happens when we build the three treasures together in prison? This is quite interesting. Now let's look at a prison in Vietnam. There's this remarkable private rehabilitation center. It's not too large, usually housing between 50 to 100 people. Here, they cook together. When it's cooking time, the whole group joins in the kitchen. At mealtime, they set everything out. Everyone eats together like one family. It's a large family of several dozen people sitting together. The person managing this facility was once an addict themselves. After overcoming their addiction, they voluntarily offered their land and home to create this center. They treat everyone like family members, playing together, working together, eating together, taking breaks together, all united in the three treasures. Everyone lives together as one household, with no distinction between management and residents. Isn't this true connection? Overcoming drug temptation thanks to the healing master Teo Vang Nok. It's been 3 years now, and I can celebrate Lunar New Year without being bound by drugs. Looking back at these wonderful 3 years, I feel mentally at peace with a warm family and a joyful atmosphere. Having teachers for guidance, these centers have instructors, effective treatment methods, supportive friends, shared work, communal sports activities, and books to read together. Isn't this a form of rehabilitation center built on the three treasures? Think about whether this is true. When people live harmoniously together based on the three treasures foundation, isn't it easier for them to overcome addiction after 3 years and reintegrate into the community? This is different from being locked up in a prison-like cell. You can see there are no detention rooms here, right? No locked rooms at all. It's like a dormitory, like a school. There are no cells. That's why it's called the Voluntary Rehabilitation Center. People who come here are conscious of their desire to overcome addiction, so there are no chains or confinement. They eat, live, and work together. Currently, this center has expanded to about 30 to 40 locations throughout Vietnam. They're all run by former addicts who, after recovery, volunteered to establish new centers. You know, this work requires heart, genuine dedication, and love for the profession, and not being afraid of those who are struggling with addiction and unstable behavior. You must love them like your own family to succeed in this work. With dozens of centers now, you also need some management skills to take over this legacy. They're not hiding these people. They're focusing on building community,